Hey, what's up YouTube? Alright, we're out here in the desert and you can see this area is very inconspicuous looking. You can't really see anything going on. One unique thing about it is this is a small ravine. It goes downhill that way. And there's a big flat up there which comes down this wash. And this is all just kind of sand and debris from the runoff. And this is a prime area for birds to forage. So what I've already actually got set up here is a Hopi bird snare pole. And when I'm not using it, I just cover it all with sand so you can't even see it. So all we have to do is just reach in here, find it. So there it is. And essentially all we've got is just one stick with all these individual strands of paracord. These are the 7 individual strands inside the paracord that I've separated. So that's interesting. They should be already snared out and ready to go. Apparently they've gotten a little bit worn out being buried, but that's fine. So this is basically all we're doing. Just made a slip knot and made individual snares. They've gotten twisted, so that's going to be kind of problematic here. Wow, I don't know how to untwist that. That's weird. See, that's a problem of burying it. The line gets twisted. I really have no way of untwisting it. But we'll make do the best we have. If it wants to twist up, we'll just have to open it as best we can. It'll still work, it'll still be effective. Not really sure what happened on this one, so we'll just redo it. So I'm just going to tie a square knot and make a loop. Not going to overcomplicate it. Even a granny knot would probably work on this. The key here is to give yourself a small little loop that won't close so that the snare has a chance to bite down without getting binded up. Okay, talking a little bit more about the stick. Basically all you do is you take a stick like this. If you want to use paracord, it works perfect. And you take your saw or a knife and you cut 8 grooves. 7 are going to be for the snares, 1's going to be for your anchor line. In this case I've used bank line, which I've then tied around a rock and buried, which is under here. Now, for a larger game that probably wouldn't work, but for a bird there's no way it's going to be able to pull that up. We're just going to unbury all of our snares here. And you want to do half on each side. And then the critical thing is to actually cover your rope with rocks and dirt or sand. Because what will happen is the wind will blow it And also the birds, as they're walking around, they'll trip over it, and as they're moving they'll drag the snare and close it, and then if they cross back over that area, the snare won't work right because it won't be fully opened. This area has tons of rocks around, so that's easy to do. Now make sure that you don't cover the actual snare loop itself. I don't know what I missed here, how these can go from being pre-made snares to being undone. I'm trying to figure out how that would have happened. I can't. Just don't get that. Oh well. We'll just redo them here. So we make our loop. Just tie a knot there. Now I try to keep them a little bit off the ground just so they'll have a better chance of snagging the bird's foot. Remember, cover your rocks. And you can be as creative as you want with these as far as how you do the whole setup. And you can arrange these rocks in such a way to where all the bird can really do to get to the seed, which we'll bait here in a second. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought because I'm trying to do some tasks that are hard to do. But yeah, you know, take your rocks, spread them out like this, so you can see the bird's natural path is going to be right along here, which is where all 4 of those snares are. If you just lay them out willy-nilly, you'll get willy-nilly results. If you lay them out strategic, you'll get better results. Yeah, I would recommend not doing this and burying it. Might as well just take it up because it seemed to really twist up this line and kind of ruin the pre-made snares that I had already. Okay, there it was just twisted. And I would say you don't want these super huge, these loops. You've got enough of them to where you don't have to worry about it being too small. The bird's eventually going to walk into one. And all you're going for here is to get one. You're not going to get multiples, so these don't have to be perfect. Boy, this one turned out to be a really bad one. You might get one like this that just does not want to cooperate no matter what. I'll help it out, put some rocks on there. And we've got 6 other ones, so if one isn't being cooperative, that's fine. Use another one. Okay. So let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Have some wild bird seed here in this peppercorn container. Now the thing about laying the bait, you don't need to concentrate it inside the loops, because if you do that, they're going to stand outside the loop and peck in. In theory, they could just walk all around them. So you can just spread it randomly. It's okay if it goes inside, but just in the area. Now I always like to throw some kind of far up, just to get them coming from different directions, to help them out if they weren't smart enough to walk right up on it. And you just basically make a path going straight through the snares. And they'll just keep walking around back and forth until they eventually stumble upon it. So it looks pretty good in my opinion. You can cover the actual rock if you want to camouflage that a little better. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You just want to have an obvious path, so they're going to walk right along here. They're going to walk right through there. So I think that's pretty much it. We'll let this sit, and basically what will happen is you'll come up to it and the bird it'll be caught and it'll just be sitting there. It'll have already worn itself out. Generally won't be injured, but it'll just be very tired, especially sitting out in the sun like this. And then you can just dispatch it with a rock or as quickly as possible. And it's pretty simple. So when I first learned about this, I didn't think it would work at all. I set it up with bank line and tarred bank line, and that does not work. Switched to paracord. Paracord strands work great. You could use something like kite string, any thin type of string, dental floss even. You know, anything like that's probably going to work. Fishing line, I don't think so, because it doesn't. It kind of has memory and it'll flex back out, but thin rope like this will work great. So I think that's pretty much it. Well, make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.